Assalamualaikum and hi my fellow friends and lecturers. Today our group will be present about transportation in halal industry, types and methods for international service. Okay, this is my group members. First, Nur Fadil Sakina Amiruddin alias Shahira Zamhuri, Nur Faradila Anis Rosli, and the last one me, Naim Muhammad Sani. My metric number 2020965909. Next, our group will be talk about this topic. First, introduction. Second, types of logistic transportation. Third, methods of logistic transportation. Challenges in halal transportation. And the last one, conclusion. So, for the introduction, international transportation is the movement of goods or people from one country to another. That's mean when goods pass through the border of a specific country into another by air, land or sea, the method of transportation is regarded as international transport. International transport also works universal and goes beyond national borders. It is carried out by forwarding agents and transport companies who ensure safe and fast shipping. Halal transportation is among the areas of the supply chain where halal items are separated from non-halal goods in order to minimize cross-contamination and protect their halal. Halal and non-halal goods are not combined in the same load carrier or in a container or common transportation vehicle for carrying halal food products. In any vehicle, there is an obvious difference in transport. All of goods can just be placed into same distribution network and shipped to the proper location regardless evaluating their halal standards. There are several logistic industry. Companies are attempting to be halal transportation service suppliers because they recognize their role in protecting the halal integrity of goods. If their abilities are used, this would assist to dispel any worries among Muslim consumers about the usage of halal items accessible on the marketplace.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alia Shahira binti Zamhuri, number metric 2020967579. I will continue our group presentation with the types of transportation. Okay, first type of transportation is by road. Road transportation is the first and most popular of transportation. It is used to transfer anything that can be delivered in small to medium quantities. In road transportation, there is various trucks are used, depend on the product being moved. Second type of transportation is air. It is characterized as actions that relate straightforwardly to shipping individuals or cargo via air, starting with one area to the next one. With the developed technology and almost limitless route with possibilities, this is the one of the best option for shipping goods because more convenient but a bit pricey. The third type of transportation is rail. Rail is mostly used to transport the largest and heaviest payloads, but cargo through land. Rail transport is designed to accommodate increased levels of goods as well as energy capacity, typically less versatile and more capital intensive than road transport, when lower traffic levels are considered and have fixed schedule. For the fourth type of transportation is water or sea transport. It is more affordable than transport by air. It is an ideal shipping solution for companies looking to move high volume and or heavy cargo such as metal, coal, and others that cannot be carried by plane. For the last one is pipeline. This transportation is a long queue of associated pipe sections with siphons, valve control gadget, and other gear. It is to transport fluid or gas or mixture of liquids and solids from their sources to refineries or another form of transportation. It is constructed above ground, underground, and underwater. Let's look at the example of international halal transportation services which we can share two companies, DB Schenker and Nippon Express. For both companies are certified with Halal Jaki Malaysia. The method transportation in DB Schenker. First, they have air freight. They have service like charter service and flight operation, which connect transport hubs around the world. Second method is land freight, which consists Asian land bridge and Eurasia land bridge. For Asian land bridge is one of the most comprehensive facility to deliver goods within Asia, like Vietnam, Myanmar, and Laos. Second, Eurasia land bridge. It is an alternative to deliver goods between China, Europe, or Southeast Asia. The third method is ocean freight. It consists of FCL and LCL. FCL is full container load, which container must fully loaded before we deliver to other country, while LCL is less than container load, which customer experience reliable, simple, and fast supply of goods. Second company is Nippon Express, which quite famous. The methods of transportation are a lot. The first one is ground freight. It has vehicles and cargo handling. Second, railway freight. Nippon Express formed partnerships with railway service provider, both in Japan and various other countries around the world, and using their services has added value which consists environmental friendly. The last one is cross-border freight, which they transport over 49 countries. For example, of the service is XB3300 cross-border transport from Canada, US, and Mexico. The other example is SS7000 cross-border transport from Shanghai to Singapore.
Hi, my name is Nur Fadlin Sakina binti Amiruddin, number metric 2020965983. Now, I will continue about the method of logistic transportation. As we all know, each system and method of transportation is different. Each of these modes of transportation comes in numerous of shapes and size, and they all require capital to invest. Without well-developed transportation infrastructure, logistics may be unable to strengthen its capabilities. And the mode of transportation chosen by a company is determined by several factors, either by road, train, sea, or air. Alright, so basically, the most popular method of transportation is road, because road transportation is the most used and it has been around longer than other methods of transportation. And for your information, anything that can be shipped in small to medium quantities can be transported by road. So on the road, there are two types of commodity delivery. Freight and parcel shipment is a different way of determining it. For example, for parcel shipment, it can be carried in a vehicle with small car capacity such as motorcycle, van, and cars because the goods are small, light, and easy to carry and send anywhere. While for shipment weighing more than 150 pounds, it's considered cargo and requires the use of trucks, such as driven cargo, refrigerated cargo, flatbed, and container truck. In this situation, one of the transportation companies that created the halal transportation service is Nippon Express, which combined a global network with halal-related transportation where Muslims can use it without worry. Alright, there are many advantages to using this method of transportation. First, it is suitable for short distance, especially for business that rely on just-in-time delivery to retain users. Next is flexible service. Individual requests can only be fulfilled by adjusting and changing path and times, compared to other methods which have a strict and inflexible schedule and route. Alright, so if there are advantage, there must be disadvantage. So the disadvantage of this method is that the cargo tank is smaller. It has less space to carry goods. In addition, they need to deal with traffic delays, and at that time, their delivery times may be compromised. The second method of transportation is by train. Apart from Nippon Express, which provide halal service in logistics sector, the Big Shanker also operates as a halal logistic using the rail freight method. It also uses the land method as well, but their mode of transportation is rail carriages transport goods over land through railways and not road. Rail is also commonly utilized to transport the largest and heaviest goods through land. Among the types of cargo shipped via rail transport are freight cargo, bulk cargo, and hazardous material cargo. There are several advantages if companies use this method. Firstly, trains travel long distance in a short time, and rail transportation is unaffected by weather conditions. And trains are also the most efficient and environmentally friendly mode of transportation, which burning less fuel per ton mile than trucks. So the disadvantage of this method is inflexibility, which the routes and duration cannot be customized to meet individual needs. So it is unsuitable and inefficient for short distance and low volume freight transit. Well, about the booking formalities, just because the railway is the most cost-effective mode of transportation, railway transport is not suited in an emergency because booking and receiving products via railways takes a lot of time and effort compared to motor transport. Alright, third method of transportation logistics is shipping by sea. Among the method to ship the goods through maritime transportation is by using tow and tug boats, barge, auto carrier ships, container and cargo ship, and bulk carrier. In this method, the company that provides halal transportation is Air Transglobal Logistics. But it is a Bumiputra company involved in halal logistics that is recognized by JAKIM. However, every method definitely has its pros and cons. So the advantage of using this method of maritime transportation is ships are capable of transporting a relatively large variety of cargo at a low cost. So, if you run a business of importing or exporting large item, you will need to use sea freight service. Alright, next is eco-friendly. As ships don't use a lot of petroleum, which can contribute to global warming, so they leave a minimal carbon footprint. Alright, well, among the disadvantage is cargo movement by sea is very slow. If you need to ship the goods quickly, but you use maritime delivery, you will show that this method is the worst service because it doesn't suit your demand because it takes a long time to transport goods. For perishable goods, this is not the best alternative. Water transportation is inefficient to deliver perishable products because of the length of time it takes to reach the destination. Lastly is air transportation. In this modern era, air cargo is becoming highly relevant. Due to continually improving technologies and nearly unlimited route possibilities, air freight transportation is the fastest growing and the most time-efficient mode of delivery. In this type of transportation, the company that has a halal certificate in this service is Mas Cargo. This service makes Malaysia Airlines Cargo Division the first logistic company in the world to get a halal recognition for its logistic service. So, the advantage of air freight shipping is fast delivery. It is a high-capacity form of transport. It was possible to carry goods rapidly from one side to another. Other than that, they have a power to fly over any serious obstacle. It allows enterprise to offer more clients by opening many doors to many countries via air transportation. While the disadvantage of this method is, in its current condition, air travel is still by far the most expensive mode of transportation. Furthermore, due to the nature of air travel, freight must be kept under control in terms of mass and size in order to make sure the flight safety.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi everyone. My name is Nur Fardila Anis bin Rosli. My metric number is 2020984705. Okay, today I will continue this presentation with my part, which is the challenges in halal transportation. Among the challenges faced halal transportation companies are the first is financial challenges, where this problem is frequently encountered by businesses, particularly private businesses, because the logistic implementation system, which is halal transportation service, necessitates significant fees and expenses. This is to avoid the possibility of halal and non-halal products coming into contact during transit. For example, company manager A stated that the cost of monitoring halal service is nearly twice as much as a checkpoint. Furthermore, it is also caused by halal logistic is not required and is more expensive than conventional logistic, where the demand for it is relatively low. In addition, expanding the logistic businesses into halal will necessitate a significant investment that will be difficult for halal transportation service companies to meet posing more risk in the broken halal chain and having a negative impact on the overall halal and halal logistic business development. As we all know, the cost of transportation in the logistic system is fairly large and expensive. Thus, halal logistic companies must adapt the philosophy of yearly investment, create higher future chances. Okay, the second challenge is lack of demand. It means that the demand for halal logistic is now very low. Next, the rising cost of halal logistic is one of the reasons for the lack of transportation demand in the halal industry due to the additional processes that must be complete, such as ship cleaning rituals when compared to conventional logistic, which indirectly makes halal logistics service less appealing. Other than that, lack of demand also occur due to lack of support from the government, because the government has the power to enforce rules and legislation relating to halal transportation, which is halal transportation service providers say that government support will result in an increase in demand for halal transportation. However, the use of e-commerce may be hindered if the government does not develop laws, norms and strategic direction at the same time. Therefore, in order to meet the demand from halal sector players, the Malaysian government should be also offer one incentive to logistic companies to become halal service providers. Okay, next, the third challenges is the absence of the international halal certification standard. There are over 400 halal certifying agencies around the globe, but each one has its own set of standards. On the other hand, JAKIM only recognize a few certificates because JAKIM only recognize people who have registered with them. This condition limits LSPS capacity to work with them. Because the cargo comes from diverse nations and halal LSPS cannot limit their market to only those approved by JAKIM. The halal sector believes that establishing halal logistic without globally uniform halal certification is difficult. So a company's capacity to deal with companies certified by other halal certification organization will be limited due to the lack of international halal certification. Furthermore, without worldwide halal certification standards, halal integrity, which is considered a crucial goal in halal logistics, will be jeopardized. As a suggestion to address these difficulties, scholars should determine limits and standards that will be developed internationally from this workable World Halal Forum and modify different viewpoints as different halal logistic certification are used to certify logistic organization around the world. Okay, last but not least, the fourth challenges is the lack of collaboration between HDC, which is Halal Development Corporation Berhad, JAKIM, which is Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, and LSPS, which is Logistics Service Provider. On the other hand, is entirely responsible for halal certification in Malaysia. So, cooperation between JAKIM, HDC and LSPS is crucial since occurrences such as ambiguous halal rules and others may occur if their cooperation is insufficient. Following that, close communication between LSPS, HDC and JAKIM is essential for avoiding future insignificant and dangerous decisions. Thus, due to Malaysia's stringent criteria, Hong Kong and China prefer to do business with Singapore rather than Malaysia. In this regard, communication between JAKIM, HDC and LSPS is important for halal logistics because it affects all organizations that deal with it, whether companies from Malaysia or international companies. This is to provide criteria that assure halal compliance throughout the supply chain while also serving mining. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
For conclusion, logistics and transport operation are intertwined in the sense that supply chain requires transportation to carry out its function. And a strong logistics system can help to ease traffic congestion and transportation growth. Because transportation is the most expensive of the link aspect in logistics system, improving transport system could have a significant impact on the overall performance of the network. In today's world, not only Muslim but also non-Muslim utilize and choose halal food items. Therefore, the halal food supply chain's adoption, compliance and authenticity are important to the achievement of halal industry. As a result, as indicated, it should begin at every warehouse in which only halal certified goods are permitted to be delivered internationally or domestically. Lastly, competitive force were discovered to be a critical contributor of halal supply chain use. According to the result of the study, the more the price competition, the greater the desire to use halal transport service. Firms are designed to produce a profit rather than lose money versus their rivals. To acquire a market advantage, organizations should be at least equivalent with or stronger than their rival in order to exist. So, I think that's all from us. Thank you.